Shalom and welcome to another episode of Bailam's Corner. I hope you watched my last episode about creationism in a transcendental perspective, where I talked generally about how God made this earth, this universe, as a more simplistic version of something that is in his spiritual heaven. And today I'd like you to take a closer look at an example, a practical example of what I'm talking about. And I want you to do this experiment. Go and grab some person that you can find, anyone, preferably a baby. Take a close look into this baby's eye and look at the beauty, look at the detail, look at the clarity, this little wonder of creation. And now try to bend your mind again and understand that there are angels in heaven that have eyes, beautiful eyes, something like the baby, but these eyes, they are not simplistic. The angel eyes, they are perfect, they are spiritual, they are genuine, true. They are able to see Jesus as he is, like we are going to do when we become like the angels, when we get spiritual bodies in the resurrection. We will have spiritual eyes that will see not just in the center field like our physical eyes do today, but see through the whole field. NDE experiencers, they describe that when they come to the other side, they can see almost 360 degrees around their head. They have perfect, clear vision, better than they ever had before in the whole field of view. They can see a much wider spectrum of colors. They can focus through the entire focus range at the same time. That means they can stand looking at the beautiful flowers in the flower meadows, in the green grass in heaven, and at the same time they can just lift their eyes to the mountains, the distant tall mountains in heaven, and they can look at the petals of a flower growing on the slopes of heaven at the same time. So they have perfect telephoto vision and close view vision at the same time. They have spiritual eyes and they see the truth. They can perceive Jesus as he is. When they see him, they describe a glorious Jesus with incredible beauty. Take a look at my video about NDE experiences in a Christian perspective to get more information about that. But now back to our experiment. I suppose you by this time have found a baby, or maybe your partner or your child, or someone that you can look into the eyes of. Study this miracle, this wonder. But remember, this is a simplistic version of the real thing. This is not an angel's eye. This is not a spiritual eye. This is a physical eye made of elements from this world. And God made it perishable. You know how perishable it is. This eye is not a lasting thing, and it's very, very fragile, as you very well know. But take now and bend your mind again by grabbing a pizza. Yes, a pizza. And I will tell you this simple truth. That eye can be made of a pizza. Yeah, that eye can be made of a pizza. Isn't that incredible? So what kind of sorting machine is it that can do that? Yes, it's an incredible sorting machine. And the human body is embedded a genetic code inside each cell that tells exactly how to build the different organs of the body. There are mapping plans, building instructions, how to provide the materials, how to put them together, and how to grow the thing that you're going to make. A liver, a heart, eye is embedded completely in this long word of genetic information. And the body is able to pick out the right part of this long book, if you will, and read the right pages, start its sorting machine. You know, there are cells in the gut of your body that pick out the right pieces of the pizza, pulling them apart, dividing them into small pieces. And just like on a conveyor belt in a BMW manufacturing site, this sorting machine in your gut is taking instructions from the DNA in the cell. It knows that it is a gut cell. It knows that it has to follow its orders, given instructions from that part that is given to gut cells. So it's completely obedient to the order that God gave it through his very long word of DNA. It's like a sentence that lasts for thousands of pages, about 8,000 pages I think it would take if you wrote out on paper the DNA of a human body. So these gut cells, they take the pieces out of the pizza, split them into calcium, magnesium, amino acids, etc., sending them out through the liver for processing, refinement, building them up to appropriate blocks that can be used in the compilation of the human eye, sending them through the placenta into the baby. And inside the baby there are tiny molecular machines, like humans in a miniaturized form, taking each piece, like an amino acid or whatever it is, and transporting it along roads that are built, tubuli it's called in microbiology. And they have feet and they can walk. If you don't believe me, you can just watch. There are dozens of videos about this in YouTube. Kinesin is it called, this group of proteins in the body that move along roads. They walk. If you size them up, they would have incredible speed, like 600, 700, 800 kilometers per hour, incredible speed. And they're stepping, walking, following these paths, transporting amino acids to the place where they're going to assemble proteins. They assemble proteins, transporting the proteins to where they're going to be put together to build up cell structures, like this beautiful iris you can see with a wonderful color of blue or brown or whatever this eye has. And all these minute details, this incredible feature of the eye, constructed more fantastic than any team of top-notch bioengineers could ever do, into this miracle, this wonder of the human eye that can see perfectly with no distortion of lines. You know, the walls are not bulging when you look at them, they are straight lines. One of the largest problems with any photo lens you can buy for any camera is that it has distortion. And usually they correct it nowadays inside the camera by software, so you cannot see it, it's automatically turned on. So you take a picture of a room and the walls are not bulging. that is because there is software inside the camera that corrects the bulging. They cannot produce a lens that doesn't have distortion. They are all distorted. But your human eye is not distorted. The walls are not bulging, they are straight lines. And it's not even corrected by software. It is like that because you have a perfectly adapted curved retina. There is a curved camera sensor in the back of your eye called the retina. And I believe because of its curved, it gives you perfect straight lines. This wonderful engineering is made from a pizza. And if I went to a BMW factory and said that we just go to the rubbish dump and we buy containers, tons of rubbish, and we pour it out here in this sorting machine, and it pulls it apart and dissolves the parts with acid and then sends it into the conveyor belt, and they are put together to a BMW. You would say that's impossible. It's absolutely not possible. How can you do that? You can't build a BMW from rubbish. But that is exactly what the human body is doing. It is taking these materials, very simple materials that are in a pizza, and exploiting every bits and piece to put together this human eye wonder. And that is something that I think can help you to open your eyes to see what God has did when he put the code of the DNA into each cell of your body. Same code in all cells, but each cell knows which part of the body it is in and what instructions it has to follow. So, all for today. God bless you. Hope this help you to clear things up, to give you a new view upon reality and your own eyes. And please subscribe to the channel. That is the best way you can help this channel forward. Distribute this video to your unbelieving friends and give it a like. That is the best way you can help me to build this channel and spread a good message about God, the loving Creator, and His Son, Jesus Christ. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.